Welcome back, football fans. You have reached Pay Dirt. I'm your host, Brandon Herriott, a.k.a. B Dirt, with your host, Pay Saunders. What's good, Pay?
What's happening, my boy, B? What's up, man? We are in the thick of it now, man.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Bowl season.
Oh, bowl season.
Is it the best season?
Don't ask me. I'm a basketball guy, man. You know, I love it when the clock calendar turns to March, but bowl season is the best season to make some money.
I like bowl season. I'm a football guy first. March, April is pretty good too. You get the March Madness. You get opening day coming. You've got hockey going, playoffs. Like, yeah, it's a pretty good sporting time too. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. But bowl season, man, football every day. Come on now. I love it. And it's not just Maction. It's all over the place.
Love a good Maction line.
Love a good Maction. All right, so I do owe you a heartfelt thank you, my friend. I did not like last week, for those of you who listened. I had a hard time even finding things I wanted to bet, and I shouldn't have found what I found. 1, 2, and 1 for myself. And a deserving push. The Viking Raiders game, no one deserves to win that game. That's a deserved push. That was terrible.
Oof. Woof.
But you came in 5-2, bailed us out. 6-4-1 for the week. Another back in black day. I like it.
I like it too, man. Hey, man, there's been a lot of weeks you carry my butt up the mountain to the black. So, you know, hey, it's my turn to carry my weight.
That's what we do here. Yeah. And both of us lost one game too. So out of those losses, it's really 6-3-1 if you look at it, because we both took the Dolphins, and we both had that feeling of, all right, we're covering. Wait, what just happened?
You saw that in our group chat when the Dolphins, Tennessee kept turning the ball over and they let the Dolphins get 2 short field touchdowns. I'm like, oh yeah, that's great. Let's wrap it up. We got the 13.5. Let's wrap it up. And then what the hell was that?
I'll tell you, the one thing, the silver lining, moral victory that I took out of it is my plus 3,000 bet on Tyreek Hill to win MVP. When he's not in that game, boy, are they a different looking team. So I actually think that was a positive for him. If he can get back out and finish the season with a bang, I think I might have a puncher's chance at that.
You know, those guys that say Purdy is a system quarterback, if you looked at Tua without Tyreek Hill,
pretty pedestrian.
Looks like he's dependent on a system, if you ask me.
Yeah, and the system is fast.
Number 10, find number 10, throw it to him.
The cheetah's for real. I mean, I enjoy watching him. But hey, let's start off where we normally do. Thursday night football. In my notes, I wrote boo with about 8 O's. The Chargers are at the Raiders. The Raiders are 3-point favorites. Neither team has their starting quarterbacks. The Chargers also don't have Keenan Allen. You expect them to rely heavy on the run game. I think fantasy teams, I would take a look at Austin Eckler, but that's about all I can say about this game. I don't want to touch it.
Yeah, I'm pretty much excusing myself from this one too. The only thing I like is this one. I know last Thursday we both had the under 30, and that was in the garbage before halftime. But I'm a double back. You spelled it out. Aiden O'Connell versus whoever the hell is the backup for the Chargers. No Keenan Allen. They got the total at 34.5 right now with DraftKings. I'm going to take the under on that.
Man, Easton Stick, not necessarily a household name, huh?
Oh, who?
Easton Stick, everybody's favorite quarterback. His claim to fame is being the passer of the torch at North Dakota State between two good pro quarterbacks. Well, I don't even know if I can say that. Wentz went from an MVP candidate, and boy, did the carries turned into a pumpkin quick on him. But yeah, and then between him and then Trey Lance, so that's Easton Stick's claim to fame. He was the quarterback in between those two quarterbacks.
I don't know who's better between Easton Stick and Trey Lance. Wow. Stop drafting quarterbacks from that school.
Hey, as somebody that's watched the Bengals give up pass rush right up the middle all year, I'm not real keen on left guards either. So, yeah, I think we're both staying away from that. Now, we do have college football starting back up. You know, bowl season does start a little slow. But you and I both like the same game here. Got to do a little more digging here because I know there's some turmoil at UCLA. Their quarterback has entered the portal. The team seems to be quitting on Kelly. Boise State's getting 4 points here. Need to do a little more digging on how they line up, I think, to figure out what I want to put on this game. But I'm definitely getting at least a unit here on Boise State +4. What are your thoughts on it?
I had the same thought as you. Like, wow, UCLA is a favorite with all that they got going on. It sounds tempting to go Boise. I want to do a little bit more research on that, but I am leaning towards that Boise. I mean, a 4-point dog with. It just doesn't sound right? I mean, yeah. UCLA, they might not even show up.
And this is something I see every year in bowl season too. When you get some of these bowls where you have lesser known teams, Boise State's not necessarily a sexy pick. So a lot of your novice gamblers are just going to, that's UCLA. They're going to take UCLA because of the name. So that, you see lines skewed a little bit because of that kind of betting and that kind of gambler. It'll be interesting to see where the money goes on this as we get closer to the weekend. I think that's going to probably influence my take on that as well. But something definitely we both have in our scope.
Yeah.
Then, honestly, for the rest of college football, I'm kind of in an avoid. I'm kind of in an avoid mode here. And I've got one avoid game in pros too. A lot of games are in my do some more digging in the NFL. Very intrigued by the Vikings-Bengals game in Cincinnati. Cincinnati's a 3-point favorite. Obviously, both have backup quarterbacks, but Nick Mullins looked pretty good. Jake Browning has looked pretty good, completing almost 80% of his passes. So that's an interesting one for me. The Vikings have turned the ball over a lot this year. The Bengals are tied for second in turnover differential in the league. That's kind of how that defense has been playing. So that could be an interesting game. I also like over 40.5. I think these teams, the Bengals team, the defense is bottom 5 in the league. The Minnesota Vikings defense, although in the top 10 in rushing and passing, are in the bottom 5 in the league in scoring because of those turnovers and short fields. So I think that could be an over as well, but still in my do some more research phase. I'm not taking it yet, but I'm interested in that game.
So for me, the way I watch football, I watch it really analytically. It's hard for me to even enjoy football sometimes because I'm looking at things from why did this happen?
It's like breaking down film.
He's in that space, yeah. But I don't want to go that far with it. But I am the type of guy that you don't want to watch a game with because I am always rewinding. How did this play develop? Why did that happen? What I've noticed about Browning, and a lot of people, he's been the talk. You said 80% completion rate so far. A lot of people are saying, there are some quarterback gurus over there in Cincinnati. What I've noticed is they've moved the pocket for Browning a lot. It's a different part of the playbook that they have for him versus what they have for Joe Burrow. And the type of team that they're playing this week on Saturday afternoon, that is the blitz heavy team. If I were a gambling man, and I am, I would assume the Vikings will contain him a lot more. They will not allow that pocket to move. They're going to try to make him a sitting duck so they can bring the house. With that being said, I expect this game to be very sloppy. I don't expect much from Nick Mullins. Nick Mullins is a 5-13 quarterback for his career, something along those lines. The Vikings offense is without Alexander. I think Alexander Madison is not going to play. They haven't been a good rushing team all season with or without him.
Said Jefferson will be back though.
Jefferson will be back. He told a sick kid that he will play. I don't think the Vikings appreciated that, but he said he will play. The Jefferson versus Chase show is going to have some shitty quarterback play this week. Other than that, for this game,
Chase has an ankle issue too. He's going to play, but he got banged up against the Colts.
I say all this because that 40.5. I expect it to be very close. Maybe they combine 37. Maybe they're getting around that space. 40.5 seems a little rich. I'm not trusting these offenses in this game. Any other time, Cincinnati's looked great with Jake Browning. They've done things that no one expected.
They've scored over 30 the past 2 weeks.
Yeah. Minnesota, on the other hand, they're on their fourth quarterback. Yeah. Pumpkin, that character's turning back to a pumpkin. Combined score, I got it under 40.5.
Okay.
As far as the winner, as far as putting some money on it, I'm going to push away from this one. It's a lot of variables with this game that I wouldn't feel comfortable telling anybody to bet one side or the other because I would not do it right now.
Yeah, backup quarterbacks get a little bit you don't know what you're gonna get. You get hot and cold, right? So that could be a good point and what you're looking at there. Now, I have an avoid game with the Texans and the Titans. CJ Stroud in concussion protocol.
Mm-hmm.
The Titans have been hot and cold all year.
Mm-hmm.
What's going to happen there? No idea. I have no clue.
No idea. No, I expect a lot of regression in that Houston offense. No more Tank Dale. CJ has got his marbles scattered. Nico was hurt, and on the other side, you said it right. Will Levis and the boys have been up and down. But the thing I do like about Will, he's gonna throw it. He's gonna take some chances, putting it up there for Nuke. He's gonna let Nuke make some plays. Some of those are not wise throws, but he's a gunslinger. And going into this, into a game,
I like. I do. I root for him. I do.
I was rooting for him against Miami, even though I had money on the 13.5. I'm like, you know what? I like this guy. He's Showtime. I like him. However, that type of mentality, that gunslinger mentality, going against Stingley and the boys, it might lead to some trouble. Stingley's had 3 interceptions. We've had 3 straight games with an interception. Yeah, this is I agree. This can go a lot of different ways. I do expect Tennessee to win, just because there's a lot of up in the air with Houston right now. So, if anything, I would take them on the money line.
Not a bad idea. Yeah, I'm out on it. I don't like the over under. I don't like anything on it. It just seems like it reminds me too much of this Thursday night game. I don't know what I'm going to get. I just don't.
Well, let's talk about something that's a little more fruitful. Saturday night football. They got Detroit. They got Detroit versus the Denver Broncos. Detroit is a 4-point fave at the crib. Detroit's looked like crap the last couple of weeks. Denver has been playing well. I think they're 6-2 in the last 8 weeks. What do you think about this?
And getting a lot of turnovers.
Yes.
Denver's been getting a lot of turnovers. Yes. I think, high ball security has got to be at a high level here for this game.
Mm-hmm.
If either one of these teams turn a ball over, I think that's it. I think that whoever wins the turnover battle wins this game. The Broncos +4, man. That's a tough one. I could see this being a tight game. I don't like it enough to put money on it, but the Lions are better at home, though.
They are. So what they say about turnovers and a defense living off turnovers, theirs is going to be regression to the mean, right?
True.
Goff, for his career, is about a 8 to 12, 8 to 13 interception guy, right? Which isn't bad. It's kind of standard, if you ask me. So far, he's got 10 this season, and he's got a lot in the last couple of weeks. It sounds like a recipe for disaster for Detroit. However, I'm going to zig a little bit. I think Detroit has been, as you called out, been getting favored. They've been favorable the last 2 months. Their defense is giving their offense short fields constantly, and they've been able to capitalize. I don't think their offense is that good. I don't think Detroit's defense is that bad. I don't think Goff is that bad with his ball security. I just think it's been a little bit of they've hit a bump. It's been a bump. I don't think a lot of his turnovers have been to the second line of the defense. He's thrown a lot of linebacker turnovers, which is bad. At least the best part of Denver's defense is their secondary. I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to take Detroit to figure it out, go back home, get some home cooking, and cover that 4. I actually think Detroit's due for a big win. They're a good team. They're 9-4. They haven't beaten anybody upside. They haven't slapped anybody upside their head in a while. So I'm going to take Detroit to cover the 4. I like it.
I'll be rooting for it. The only thing I'm hanging my hat on Saturday is, the over-under in the Steelers game is 42.5.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't see them going over 2 weeks in a row. It's not been their MO this season, so I'm going to take that under again. That's just going to be a 1-unit bet as long as they've got quarterback trouble.
You mean to tell me you don't have any faith in Minshew and Mitch leading their respective offenses to more than 42.5 points?
No, sir. And furthermore, the running game didn't look good. The Colts couldn't run the ball against the Bengals last week, and the Bengals have given up more yards than anybody on the ground. So I just don't. I don't have faith in them. So that's my Saturday bet. You got anything else on Saturday, or should we take a break and head into Sunday?
I agree with you on the total for that game. I've been saying it all year. I've been saying it as nice as I can because a lot of our listeners are Steeler fans, or they like the Steelers, or they have compassionate feelings for black and gold. But I can only say it so much. They've been extremely fortunate to get the 7 wins. They have not been a good team.
Yeah, well, I'll apologize to Afton on your behalf here.
Sorry, Afton.
I need to get the R2D2 from. I need to get the R2D2 sound for you from Kevin. Tape boy fresh. Where's he got the R2D2 at? Technical difficulties. That's okay. It's a good time to have them because we're going to take a quick break, pay some bills. We appreciate you guys listening to us and rocking with us. If you are on Spotify or Apple Pod, Google Pod, wherever you get your podcast, now's the time while we're paying these bills to hit that subscribe button, share us with some friends. Let your friends know where you're getting your good picks from. And if you're on YouTube, just chill out for a second, hit that thumbs up, and we'll be right back. All right, we are back here with Pay Dirt with your host, Pay Saunders. I am Brandon Herriott, a.k.a. B Dirt. We left off after Saturday here. Cleaned up. I love a good Saturday game for the NFL, too. It's give me Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Yes, I'll take them all.
Overkill.
It does thin the witching hour a little bit. But sometimes the witching hour is just a little bit too much. It's the greatest hour of television every week. But what are you looking at on Sunday? Hour. Yeah, all right. Who doesn't? As a football fan, you gotta always enjoy this.
So coming into Sunday, first game I got the second half of that terrible over last Thursday. The New England Patriots. They are getting 8 points against the Kansas City Chiefs, the defending champs. Another thing I've been saying for some weeks now about this Kansas City team, they are not what people are saying about them. Their offense is not that good. Their defense is their best unit, and that defense ain't even all that good either. Pat Mahomes has looked, I don't know why he's in MVP conversations. I don't know why. He's not having a good season. But for some reason, Vegas thinks they're 8-point fave over these New England Patriots. The same Patriots that went into Foxborough and smacked Pittsburgh around. I don't know, man. I'm going with the Patriots on this.
Yeah, and it's interesting, too, because we've seen a lot of things come out about Bill Belichick parting ways at the end of the season. Will that kind of galvanize his team to fight for him? You know what I mean? The second half of that game against the Steelers here in Pittsburgh actually looked like what I thought the whole game was going to look like. Neither team could move the ball. I'm not as heavy on this one as you. I've got it on probably a leave it alone list. But you brought up some good points. Every time I thought the Chiefs are going to bounce back and I've taken the Chiefs, they've looked like doo-doo. So I'm going to stay away from it, but I get why you would be tempted by it. I'm also staying away from the Dolphins this week, 8.5-point favorites. Wilson, the Jets, looked halfway decent this past week. He just kind of went out there throwing the ball a little bit more, and I don't know how effective Tyreek Hill is going to be with that ankle, and that team does not look the same. So that 8.5-point line, I think, is a little much.
I'm right there with you. Tyreek Hill is dealing with a lot of injuries. Maybe injuries is too strong of a word. Let's say knickknacks. Boo-boos. Let's say boo-boos. he's dealing with a lot of boo-boos right now. And the way they looked without him, he might just be a decoy coming into this game. And if he's a decoy, Miami is a totally different team. Without Tua leaning on Hill getting open. I still got Miami winning this game, but I'm only confident in the money line. I'm not taking both spreads, nothing. Only the money line. Went outright.
I feel you there. I'm in the same boat with you. A team that I'm going to ride with again. Got my only win with them last week. Tell you what, man, Rams playing some pretty good ball.
Yeah.
Again, favored here at home by 6.5 points over the Commanders. They're able to run the ball. Puka Nacua looks good. I think they're starting to get a little healthier. That defensive line's playing well. I think they're going to get some pressure on Sam Howell. I can see some turnovers there. I think the Rams cover this touchdown.
I didn't really have anything on this game as far as the Rams. I don't agree with you that they're playing well. I kind of still think they're just an average team. I mean, but they got Kyren Williams back. He is a beast. He can run. Yeah, they had Baltimore scared for a while.
They gave the Ravens all they wanted.
Yeah, sure. They did. If I had to pick this, I would agree with you. 6.5 over Washington. Washington is coming off a bye, so maybe I'm a little shaky on that. If I had to do anything, I'll put half a unit on LA just to go with you on that one. 6.5.
Well, what do you like better than that game then?
Oh, thank you for asking me. My Chicago Bears. You see it.
I know.
You see it on my chest. You see it, right? The boys are on a 2-game winning streak. We are streaking right now. And we going into Cleveland, taking that 2-game win streak to go see the number 1 defense in the league. Joe Flacco, the 4th quarterback for Cleveland this season. Chicago's defense has been... Yeah. You think LeBron's beating Father Time by himself? Nope. He's getting some help from Joe. Chicago's defense has been pretty outstanding since Eberflus took over as the defensive coordinator. They've been great the last 3 weeks. Man, I think this is going to be... Not only am I putting a unit on the under for this game, I'm also taking the Bears +3.
Okay.
I don't think this is the type of game that Justin was struggling in. I hope and pray that they don't let Myles Garrett go 1-on-1 against 1 versus 1 against one of our tackles. Please don't do that. I kind of depend on my quarterback to be healthy. He's been taking a lot of big shots this season. Just double team Myles, and everything else will take care of themselves. This is going to be a low scoring game. Joe Flacco's got to come back to earth at some point. He's not going to do it against this defense. He can do it against everybody else, not this one. I got Bears +3, under 38.5. I'm gonna parlay those two, by the way.
If anybody listens to us on Friday night, we go live on YouTube with the homies and the homies overtime. You're gonna know why I'm not gonna be rooting for you on this one. We got a receipt board I keep over here, and I got Big G saying that Justin Fields going to win 3 straight games, and this game would bring that home. I'm rooting against you. For that reason, I'm leaving it alone.
Hey, you know what?
It's a petty reason.
Hey, it's good content regardless. Either we win 3 in a row, and I look great on pay dirt, or they don't win 3 in a row, and we get to mess with G some more. I win.
You're the win-win. You're the win-win. I like that. It's a good hedge. It's a good mental hedge.
Good hedge.
Yeah, I'm looking over here. He's going to cash one of these in, but I don't know that he's hit a receipt yet this year. And he calls himself G. Stradamus. Okay. So I because I'm rooting against it, I'm just leaving that one alone. I do like. I don't know. Sometimes I get burnt doing this, and other times I've been about 50-50 with it. but I like the biggest favorite this week again.
Ooh.
49ers going to Arizona, minus 12.5. I think they win that by 2 touchdowns. I think the 49ers are playing good ball. Everybody seems to be pretty healthy. The cards are all over the place. They can put up some points, but that pass rush and the adding Young to that defensive line seems to be just menacing over there in San Francisco. So I'm going to take the 49ers giving up 12.5 points.
Let me play devil's advocate. Just for S&Gs. 49ers do look formidable in everywhere on the field, right? You would agree, right?
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that I would consider a weakness for San Francisco was their ability to defend the run within the tackles, in the tackle box. Arizona has shown at times this season to be able to run the ball through the middle.
It's Connor's specialty. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I would give, and they are coming off a bye. They are rested. They've been preparing for this team, the team that they know very well. 12.5 dog. I don't expect Arizona to win. I'm not going to say that. I'm not expecting Arizona to keep it close. Arizona is not a good team as it relates to San Francisco. But covering the 12.5.
Backdoor touchdown, kind of 30-20 is what you're thinking?
You know where I'm going. You know where I'm going with this. It happens at least once a week. Mm-hmm. Somebody gets a garbage touchdown and blows, and Vegas gets paid. This could be that game. For that very reason is why I was thinking, you know what? I would stay away. I would rather just add this to my money line parlay. I have a 3-way.
Hey now.
Freaky Friday. I have a 3-way money line parlay, and I'll tell you about the third game right now. Head right into it. So, Philadelphia is a 4-point fave against the Seahawks. I don't know who the quarterback is going to be for Seattle. I don't think Kenneth Walker is healthy. Mm-mm. However, Philadelphia has not looked good. None this season. They've won games. They're 10-2, well 10-3 rather. But they haven't been impressive. This is the type of game they can play down to their opponent again. So for that, I'm not giving them the automatic 4. I can't do it because they're messing around to win by 3. And I don't play with my money like that. I expect you to win this game. So I would take a 3-leg parlay. Philly, San Francisco, and my other one was Miami. Go ahead and make those money lines worth something.
There you go. I dig it. You did point out the Eagles have made their living this year beating bad teams, without a doubt. Mm-hmm. And the Seahawks are below 500 right now, 6-7. I don't know if they're necessarily a bad team, but they're also not a good team. And the Eagles had a few turnovers in the red zone against the Cowboys too. I expect them to right that ship. I actually think this is a good bounce back game for the Eagles. I think they'll be able to run the ball well with Swift. And because of that, I think they're going to be able to cover that 4 points. I actually have this as a bounce back game for them. And it was on one of my picks.
It's Philadelphia's record.
I think that money line's going to come through.
I just want to get paid. Philadelphia's record this year against the spread is 7-4-2. Seattle is 7-6. It's a classic. Something's got to give game.
That's right.
Before we go
you're putting the 49ers, the Dolphins, and the Eagles on a money line. Got it.
Yep.
All right.
I like it, man. I like it.
What else you seeing out there?
So, my last game for Sunday that I had put down. You see Dallas after that huge win against Philadelphia, and they've been smoking this whole season. I've been beating the drum for Dak. No one believes in Dallas. I get it. You're always fall on their face when the lights are the brightest. Yeah. I get it. But you gotta be honest. You gotta tell the truth. Dallas has been cooking all season.
Looking good.
They have the number 1 scoring offense in the league. They have the number 4 scoring defense in the league. They are currently 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-1 the last 8 weeks if you don't count the bye week. And for some reason, the opposite in this game, for this season rather, the Buffalo Bills have been a unmitigated disaster for a team that is a Super Bowl contender, right? Coming into the season, Super Bowl favorite to some people. They've been a disaster. But for some reason, they're the favorite in this game against Dallas. But by 2. I think that's easy money. I think that's money laying on the floor for you to take.
And it's literally Dallas in their comfort zone on the 425 game. That's kind of their thing.
Yeah. Again, the money's just laying on the floor. I see it. I want that +2. I'm taking all of that. Gimme.
The Cowboys, I do like them. I actually picked them going into the season to win their division over the Eagles. I don't think they'll get to the Super Bowl because, and they got my boy Mozzie Smith from Michigan to help shore up that run defense. But again, like you stated earlier with the 49ers, they can be had in the middle of that field, running the ball between the tackles. And I think that's going to be a tough matchup when they get into the playoffs playing the 49ers. And that's going to be a tough get for them. But I mean, you got a puncher's chance. They're playing really good ball. I like that. I like that pick for you. You might talk me into adding that on one of my parlays over here.
That's what we're here for.
So that actually concludes. The Sunday night game. I'm not Jacksonville's been all over the place. The Ravens also been. They seem to be played down to their opponents sometimes and have some weird.
Sometimes.
Yeah. Have some weird things going on. So that Sunday night game, I think, is going to be a fun game to watch. But I that's something I'm not going to bet. But I do have a bonus pick for the people this week.
Before we go to that one, it's another one of these classic something's got to give games. Both Baltimore and Jacksonville are 8-5 against the spread this season. Might be dealer's choice, One of those has got to give. I've been saying it all season. I think Jacksonville is it's smoke and mirrors. I don't like what I see out of Trevor Lawrence, and I'm a Trevor Lawrence truther. He hasn't looked great to me. They've been winning games. ETN he's come back to earth in a very hard way.
And they haven't been running the ball with him as much. His carries the past few games are down.
That's expected because I think he had a chest injury and his yard per carry has been brutal. As you said, Baltimore has a way of making these games a lot more interesting than they have to. So I'm going to stay away from this well. And
it's a Sunday night home game. They're going to have a little juice like that. The crowd will be into it in Duval. It's a tough game.
Yeah. Jacksonville's lost 2 in a row. They kind of do. So I don't like it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a tough one. I'm with you. I'm trying to see where the money is. 83% of the money's on the Ravens too.
Makes sense.
Vegas doesn't build those buildings because they lose a lot of money. So if they're not moving that line up to 4 with 83% of the money on Jacksonville, what do they know? What do they know? So I don't know. I'm staying away from it.
Yeah.
But on Saturday, 3 football games. Once the Detroit Lions, Pay's first pick today, are up by 21 points at halftime, you're going to have some free time on your hands that you don't have to stay glued to that TV. Maybe you have the multiple TV setup going on. Love that. Go over and check out the UFC. Some pretty good fights. Should be entertaining. And I do like one that I'm going to put some shillings on. But it's not the winner that I like. Although I think I know who's going to win. But Tony Ferguson is fighting Paddy the Baddy Pimblett. Paddy's, supposed to be the next star from Ireland. He's looked really good in his first few fights in the UFC. Tony Ferguson it was the boogeyman for a long time, but getting a little long in the tooth, and he has been got a couple times of recently. And once that chin goes, like you see guys get knocked out for the first time, normally you see him get knocked out again, and that seems to be happening to Tony Ferguson. I also think Tony could catch him. He's got power. Both of these guys have submissions. So I like the under 2.5 rounds. I wouldn't be surprised if this thing doesn't get out of the first, because I don't think Tony's going to run from him. He likes to fight, and I think this is going to be, he's going to get what he wants. He's going to get a fight. So for that reason, I'm taking under 2.5 rounds on this one, putting a couple ducats on.
Nice. You said 2 units?
That's right.
Ooh. I like that. All right. So I've got another bonus. Yeah. I've got a bonus bet too. I'll be in the building for this bonus bet. So while Detroit is handling business, like I know Detroit Lions will, my North Carolina Tar Heels will be tipping off in the CBS Classic here in Atlanta against the University of Kentucky. It's going to be a great game. Now, DraftKings, ESPN Bet, I don't see a line for this game anywhere. So I can't tell you what the spread and give you an opinion on that yet, but I can tell you this: Tar Heels are winning that game. I don't care. I don't need to know nothing else about the line and nothing like that. I'm telling you right here, right now, definitively, Carolina winning that game.
I dig it. I'll be rooting for them. We had a vacation home growing up in North Carolina, and I grew up a little soft spot in my heart for the Tar Heels. I still have. I feel like I missed out on buying those baby blue Vapor Maxes that came out and dropped. I still have some regrets not copping those. Oh well.
They're still out there somewhere. With those ice, yeah. The sky blue Vapor Maxes, that's heat. It is heat. Yes. Yeah, I know what you mean.
All right. Well, that's the picks for Pay Dirt this week. Again, even in a bad week, 6-4-1. We'll take it.
I'll take it too, man. That's still a black, right?
Literally the worst week we've had in like 8 weeks. 6-4-1. So come ride with us, folks. Share us with your friends. Don't keep all the money. And come see us here on the Fans First Sports Network. I'll have Run It Through the Jungle, where I will talk about why Jake Browning's under center more than our friend Joe Burrow was. And you can catch the Bear Claw over there. You can find out more about why the Bears are going to win their third straight. Hey, now.
Go Bears.
And Pay's also on every show, I think, on Fans First Sports Network in some way, shape, or form. He's got the Chi-Town bulletin board. Did I say that right?
Yeah, we they have a Bulls show with the Fans First Sports Network as well. You can find all of that stuff as my boy B said, anywhere you get your audio fix. Google, Spotify, Apple. We're also on YouTube at the Frustrated Chicago Sports Fan channel. You can get the Bear Claw, all your Shot City bulletin board, your memes, Cubs, Sox, all that tears coming from Chicago and going into Lake Michigan. We are there for you.
Yeah, and Friday night you can check us out on the Homies and the Homies Overtime, where we get into the overtime is quickly becoming one of my favorite things I do now, because we get into all kinds of stuff in overtime. There's really no rules with overtime, and I kind of like that. Yeah,
the hour one, the Homies, is more so me laying out for G and Tate to espouse ridiculousness for Steeler Nation. Either they're so far this way or they're so far the other way. I just sit there and listen and just write it down. Like, okay, all right, we'll talk about this later.
It can be a little emotional. It can definitely be a little emotional. Sure. But hey, we appreciate you rocking with us again. Get those bets in. Good luck this week with everything, and catch us next week when we hit Pay Dirt.
Peace.